that burned up in a fire. Really? I wonder how that happened. So anyway, so the whole point is that he figured out how to make a drive that would actually be very sensitive in this process. And from that day forward, from then on till 2006, there was no changes in his drive. It was fundamentally exactly the same. There are some that are called colossal heads, where they add on a whole nother layer besides 3. They're using 4 or 8 different layers so they can read more data and it's more sensitive. And that's how we got from 1999 to 2006. In the next hard drive that we used, the last one that was based on longitudinal is 500 gigs. So we went from 1990 at 20 gigs to 500 gigs in 5 years-ish. But it took us forever to get to the 10 gigs. It took us 15 years to get that far. Then in 5 years we got to that. The first hard drive we released after that was perpendicular, buried long ways instead of the other way. Perpendicular was supposed to add 10 times the amount to it. But that's not how it worked. It ended up being less than 10, roughly 3 times the size of the drive at the moment. So that's perpendicular, and so at this point in time what ends up happening is the data is stored up and down through the drive like this. And the depth of the drive is now important. So there's more material underneath here, and you can't write. All they did was rotate the head, and the head now writes this way. Well, as you write data through here, this layer down here interferes with your ability to write. So you can't use metal. You can't use aluminum. So they switched it to glass. So all the drives now, since 2006, have to be glass so that they don't interfere in the writing process as it loops through, as it writes the data down through the drive instead. These drives have to be thicker, so the platters are thicker. You'll notice if you take apart drives from pre-2006 and after 2006, well, I mean, one is really thick by comparison to the other. Laptop drive, same thing. Everything's thicker than it used to be because you have to write down through this cycle and you've got to give a gap underneath it below for that perpendicular to work. So that's where we're at on this from that standpoint. All right, so let's take a break, use the restroom, do whatever, come back for more.